That was the Revels with Comanche from Pulp Fiction. We're here with Sharon Aiken. Sharon, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
A few times, yeah.
Not a huge Quentin Tarantino fan?
Well, I would say yeah.
I mean, Pulp Fiction and what's the other one? There was two of them when I was a kid that were the really big ones. Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yep, Reservoir Dogs.
And you know what? I think Comanche might... No, Comanche is from Pulp Fiction. Because that's the song that they play during that very disturbing scene, which doesn't narrow it down for a Quentin Tarantino film, but...
Yeah, they're definitely an acquired taste, anything that he has done, but yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn was always...
Yes.
We had that on VHS.
I didn't appreciate that the first couple times I saw it. I actually, once I grew up a little bit more, I don't know what it was about that one, but vampires are cool, right? I mean, how do you go wrong with vampires? This is the Fargo Fresh, and we are going to talk about updates around town. So, Sharon, what do you know about the Lashkowitz high rise? Do you even know what that is?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it. News to me.
You've certainly seen it. So a million years ago, everything, my wife and I ran a cleaning business, and we had, at our zenith, maybe 8 or 10 employees. We held the contract for the Laskowitz high rise. So that's government housing. So we worked for Fargo Housing Authority. That's that really big by the YMCA.
But, okay. So I didn't know that's what it was called. We've always just called it the high rise.
You called it the high rise?
Just the high rise.
So I always called it the tower.
Oh.
The tower. So internally, we always refer to it as TT for the tower, because high rise is a lot of words in the way we did it. But that place was public housing. It was. You ever been inside when it was running and it was functional?
Nope, I've never been inside.
Yeah. Oh boy. So you don't know anything about it. You've just driven by it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we used to ride our bikes through the parking lot and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
It was just known as the high rise.
My first experience with it was when I worked for Cashwise Delivery when I was tender young age of 18. Drove around in their big vans, and people would have groceries delivered there. And so that was an interesting experience. Yeah, definitely some very interesting people that lived there, because it was government housing, low income, and just a giant tower of them. And that's why we called it the tower.
Yeah.
But the place, man, it really... So we did the cleaning for it, and we did the janitorial, and we did the best we could. But it really, it was run down.
Yeah.
Because you had 20, 30 some, I forget how many, it was a lot of floors. It was like one of the tallest buildings in Fargo. I think maybe the tallest until the RDO building.
Yep.
And it just filthy, bed bugs and cockroaches. And they've been wanting to tear that thing down. So we held that contract, 6 or 7 years. And 2 years into it, they're like, and we're tearing it down anyway, so don't get comfortable. And it went on and on and on and on and on. Well, they're finally going to tear it down.
I heard that.
Yeah. Yep. Finally,
they're imploding it.
Yeah. Right a block away from where my daughter goes to.
That's crazy.
Daycare. I might take her out. I don't know, because it's got to have asbestos and stuff in there.
Oh
right?
yeah, I would imagine. But I would think that they had removed a lot of that kind of stuff. It's pretty bare bones now. I've seen.
Yeah, they've been taking parts and parts. It was supposed to come down this week.
On the 9th or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. It was slated for September 9th, according to KFGO here. I'm on their website here, and it says the apartment building, which has been an iconic part of the city skyline for over 50 years, was slated to be imploded September 9th. But some minor logistic challenges with permitting and coordination with all parties in the vicinity has moved it back a week.
Yeah.
So next week, they're finally going to tear that down. You know what my daughter calls that? Because we can see it as we drive to the YMCA every week. And it's this big tower, and it's got the antennas that kind of arch up.
Yep.
She calls it Sauron Tower.
Oh,
because to her it looks like the eye of Sauron. Because she is just obsessed with Lord of the Rings. She must have seen it a million times. I think so.
She's smart.
I think so. I'm rather fond of my children. So yeah, that's. But Sauron Tower is going to come down next week. So really excited for that. Next up, from Valley News, man admits in court documents to stealing former North Dakota governor's car in Fargo. This is kind of an update. So I mentioned it last week from a different news site that had silly ad blockers on it, and I couldn't read the story at all. But yeah, the former governor, and I'm not even sure which one, he was doing a radio show, just like this one, and his car was stolen. during the radio
That's
show.
unfortunate.
Yeah. So it's his 2020 GMC Yukon. He was at 1020 25th Street. If that, anyway, and he got it stolen, and sounds like the guy drove around it for just an hour and returned it. So that's.
Well, at least it was nice to have to bring it back.
Well, what was he thinking? I mean, Grand Theft Auto is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You ever had a car stolen?
I have not.
Knock
on wood.
Have you ever had anything stolen?
Yeah. I mean, we've had our business stolen from.
Oh no! Oh no! Really?
Yes, we have.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, thieves are the worst.
They are. Yep.
Fortunately, in Fargo, it's not as bad as other places. At least I've been told.
I think it's become a lot more prevalent.
Sure.
I mean, we were subject to another business owner in town who stole from us.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah.
That's more. That's a little bit more complicated. That's more like taking the product and just not paying for it.
Correct.
Probably.
Yes. Yep.
Which is in its own way.
Yeah,
thievery.
It all affects everything everybody does all the time.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But fortunately, Fargo has less of that than other places, or so I've been told. Coming up next, we've got the presidents of the United States with Lump. And then we'll be back with our last segment. Believe it or not, it's already 11:45. Look at that. We'll be with our last segment, Fargo Favorites. So don't go nowhere.